Are we good?
It's not showing a bit up. Yeah, live, sir?
Yes.
Yeah, now yeah.
Okay.
I think it is, yeah.
Good evening, parents. And firstly, I would like to apologize for being late. Uh, this just tells me that probably it's so important to keep our life so easy and simple. Because of all the technical glitches, we were trying to install, reinstall, uninstall, and to get the whole thing done right, we spent about 40 minutes. I completely apologize for all the parents who have been waiting here. My apologies. So let's get started with the session. Uh, I plan to do this as an interactive sort of a session. We are going live on 3 to 4 platforms simultaneously. So we are going to have a lot of comments coming on different platforms on First Cry website, on First Cry main page, as well as First Cry Intelli page. So I'm just going to try and gather few comments from each section so that I can probably answer all questions possible. Great. So let me start by introducing myself. I'm Aditya Tapadia from Pune. I'm a National Core Committee member of Early Childhood Association, and I'm a founder of Online Parenting Summit 2020. Great. So today my topic is top 10 tips, fathering tips. So before we start talking about fathering tips, I would like to have few feedbacks from the audience who is listening to us today. I would like to ask fathers and probably mothers who are listening on behalf of their fathers to answer this question. I'm going to ask a question, and I only expect an answer in a yes or probably a no. Okay, there doesn't have to be a detailed explanation to the whole thing. It just has to be yes or a no. If it is a mother who's answering on behalf of a father, she could probably tell the truth whether really a father knows these answers or not. You just have to answer yes or no on the comment section given here. Okay, so the first question is to all the fathers. It goes, do you really know the which medicine is supposed to be given to your child when his stomach is upset? Which medicine is supposed to be given to your child when his stomach is upset? And where is it kept in the house? So yes, this is the trickiest question. Where is it kept in the house? So I'm going to have 1 minute or 2 minutes max where you can answer this question, where it just has to be yes or no. Super. My next question is, uh, what is the current vaccination status of your child? If you have a child from 0 to 5, or probably above 5, you don't require, but if your child is between 0 to 5, at what stage is his vaccination schedule? Which are the current vaccines due in probably current 6 months to come? Does any father know about this? You could again put in the comment section yes, no, only. Perfect. In 10 seconds, we'll go to the third question. Great. Now my third question. So I see most of the answers coming as no, no, might be, yes, sure, no, no, no. Wow. Wow. Okay. So mostly no. Mostly no. The third question, which is, most of the fathers might be knowing which standard your child is in, but how many of the fathers really know? How many fathers really know the division of your child? Or probably which are his best friends? How many fathers know the division of their child? Division means which section your child is in. He might be in first standard, he might be in junior KG. There are class divisions. Which division the child is in? So great. I see a lot of no's. Maybe yes. One father saying definitely yes. No, no, no. Okay, great. So what we can definitely conclude out of this is 80% of the fathers don't probably know the basic things which mom is keeping a track of. Okay. Let me tell you one thing. I am a father of a 7-year-old. girl, and I also don't know these things personally. But then still, these are not the only things which make the fatherhood amazing or this entire journey great. Okay, so we are going to discuss other than these things which are required to make sure that your parenthood or your fatherhood is amazing. Okay, let me tell you one thing before I start giving you 10 tips. There is no one fit for all solution when it comes to fatherhood. Okay, it is different probably for every child, every father who is having a child. It depends upon your family dynamics, it depends upon you, it depends upon your spouse, it depends upon n number of things. And we as fathers have to probably evolve or multitask, as we are already multitasking in a lot of roles of a life. We also have to multitask and probably find our fatherhood technique and probably come up with the best solution for this. Okay, so my talk for next 20-25 minutes is going to help fathers to know what is exactly is their parenting style or what exactly is their fatherhood style, and what are the small things which they can do with their child. Probably there's no one fit solution for all, but probably think about it, ponder about it, discuss it with your better half, and then come with the solutions which can probably make the entire fatherhood journey really a remarkable and a great journey for you and your child. So great. So now the first tip which I'm going to, there are 10 tips, and the first tip is, do you really know your child well? Do you know your child's personality? Do you really know whether your child is aggressive, whether it's submissive, whether it's introvert, whether it's extrovert, whether it's social, whether what sort of a personality your child has? Have you evaluated it? Have you had this sort of a discussion with your better half? If not, I think this is the time where you need to invest, where you really need to analyze your child's behavior. Probably this will determine the way you are going to father your child in coming years. Let me tell you one thing, fatherhood is something which is not only for first 10 years or first 16 years. Fatherhood is a journey which is probably going to last for your life. Okay, even a 80-year-old is a father to a 50-year-old, and your role as a father keeps on changing at every phase of life. Your role as a father, when you're handling a toddler of 0 to 5 is different. Your role as a father when you're handling a child of 6 to 10 is different. Your role as a father when you're handling a teenager is different. Your role handling an adult child is different, and probably your role as grandfathers and probably fathering a child worth of 50 years age is completely different. So you have to completely understand one thing, that the techniques and the parenting style or the fatherhood style changes with the time, and we have to completely evolve as the time and situation comes. And first thing to do is know your child right. Know what is his personality, what sort of a personality your child is having, what are his learning styles, whether your child learns more kinesthetically, whether your child is more of a visual learner, whether he's a listener, what sort of a child, what are his learning techniques, what is he good at. That is first thing you and your better half have to sit down and analyze. This is the first step for a great fatherhood, is to understand what sort of a learner your child is. Moving on to the second tip is, do you know what sort of parents are you? Do you know what sort of a parents are you? Do you know what sort of a father are you? Our behavior, current behavior, is very much defined by the way we were fathered when we were small. And I think this is a time where we need to sit down and analyze that probably the way we were brought up were different times, and today there is a different times. A lot of our actions are dependent upon the time, the way we were fathered. We will see that there are certain traits which you will probably inherit the way your father used to father you. And probably now the time, with the changing times and with the entire world changing in last 4 months, it is time that we have to rethink our fathering styles. What is our fathering style? There are multiple fathering styles. Are you authoritative father? Are you a neglectful father? Are you a permissive father? There are different types of fathering styles, and you really need to understand and assess your own fathering style. And probably the entire journey will be decided on these two things: that what is your child's personality, and what sort of a father are you going to be. Does this make sense? Great. I would like to have comments in the comment section whether this makes sense. The first two tips, whether whether knowing what is your child's personality, what sort of a child you have, and what sort of a parent you are. I think they determine maximum categories or maximum way you will be fathering a child in coming years. Great. I see a lot of comments coming in. Thank you. Thank you. I will now move on to the third step. Third tip is, do you exactly know what activities your child is into, and what activities you as father can help a child in? I understand that most of the fathers most of the time say कि you know what, I cannot take the academics of the child. अरे मेरे से वो नहीं हो पाता. ओके यार, वो फोनिक्स का क्लास लगा दिया है, ट्यूशन क्लासेस लगा दिए हैं, he doesn't listen to me, and I cannot take academics. Okay, and I completely resonate because I'm also sailing through the same boat. But we as fathers, we need to realize one thing and probably evolve by finding one or two things in which we and our child can really work together as superheroes. Probably it could be a sport. It definitely doesn't have to be only academics, but there has to be one activity which you can define and your child can see a superhero in you. It can be sports, it can be theater, it can be drama, it can be music, it can be anything. But there has to be one activity where your child should look up to you as a superhero. And that activity is different for every father. You have to decide that what are you going to be a superhero for your child in that specific activity. It again, I'm reiterating this same thing, that it doesn't have to be academics all the time. It is good that probably father is taking maths as a subject or science as a subject, it's good. But most of the time what we find is a father says कि I cannot handle academics, वो सुनता ही नहीं है, I will do anything outdoors. So in that case, probably you should be a superhero in an outdoor sport, where you and your child should be able to do that activity on a weekend or weekdays or whenever you want to, where you and your child probably could do an activity of singing together, or you and your child probably should be able to do theater, see some good dramas, child plays together. That is something which you as a father should be able to come up with. Great. So this is the third tip of being a great father. Fourth process of evolving into a great father, and this is the entire journey, this is a 10-step journey. The fourth step is knowing how to engage your child, without getting stressed, without investing a lot of time, and without getting over involved. Most of the time fathers have this argument saying ki, I don't have time, I'm working, I need to log into my office in these lockdown times, I have to log into my office at 9, and because we are in lockdown times, we probably have to be logged in for 12 hours, which otherwise was 8 hours. In normal times, a father used to leave home at 8 and come back at 8, and he was super tired, where he like, I don't have enough stamina, I don't have enough time that I can invest. So we really need to, the fourth power, which is the most important power, is to find different engagement ways by which you can engage your child. Now you'll ask me, what are these engaging ways? So there are a lot many things which you can engage your child inside a house. You can do a lot of experiments with your child inside your house. Okay, you can probably do an experiment, you can start a DIY activity, see a YouTube video with your child, and you tell him there are millions of videos. You're like, okay, fine, I will just initiate this, I'll start this, I'll make sure that you have all the required things with you to start this DIY activity. And then once you start the process of DIY activity, then you can probably tell a child, oh, you know what, I think you can experiment with these multiple things, and why don't you do that and tell me what is your reading. In the meantime, I'm going to go watch my TV, or probably I'm going to go read a newspaper, or I'm going to go do something else. But this, you need to find out, evolve systems by which you can engage your child effectively, in which he is learning effectively. There are millions and millions of YouTube videos which you can learn from. There are also a lot of these engagement boxes, like DIY boxes, like Flinto box, Einstein box, where they have a lot of DIY kits sent up to your home, where you can take a DIY kit and probably engage your child, and probably then a child can be engaged into that same activity for a couple of hours. So you as a parent need to really find out what your child engages in, whether he engages in reading, then probably you need to find some good books which you can give him, which he can engage himself in, where you could discuss about the book once he's done reading with the book. Okay, if he really enjoys experiment, you need to find him some good DIY books, or give him a lot of content by which he can do a lot of experiments, and probably do few experiments with him in first go, and then tell him ki, you know what, wow, I really like this, why don't you try a couple of more experiments and tell me, I will really love to listen what you learned out of this. So we as fathers really need to know quick fix solutions by which we can engage with our children. Okay, and this is something which will be completely defined about after you knowing your personality. Again, going back to the point one, where you need to know your child's personality, this is going to be defined how your child's personality is, and then how you are finding out new different solutions for your child to be engaged in. Next tip number 5 is, how do you handle difficult and challenging behaviors? We all know that children are the best manipulators possible. Okay, children are the best negotiators possible. Okay, when they are negotiating, they exactly know that they want something, who to go and ask for. They know mommy is going to say no for chocolate. They know what am I supposed to do that I will get a chocolate. They exactly know that you enter into a mall or a shopping complex, and probably mom says no for a packet of chips, and they exactly know at what stage they have to cry, probably fall down on the floor and cry so loud that a father will be embarrassed, and then he's like, okay, you don't cry and make a scene here, I'll just get you chips and keep quiet. Kids exactly know how to manipulate you. Okay, at this time it is very important that you and your better half need to decide that who is going to handle this sort of a situation. There are times when a mother takes a difficult decision, saying you're not going to get certain things. Okay, and at that time a father has to really be supportive enough to say, okay, if that is a shot being taken by the mother, I'm going to take a back seat, and I'm going to allow mother to take a front seat and do whatever she feels like. Even though you are embarrassed in the mall, probably child is crying, this will happen one time, this will happen two times, but the third time the child will come to know that no matter what happens, whatever tantrum I throw, if mom has said no, probably I'm not going to get this. And this can be exactly the other way around as well. If father is going to be going to take a is going to take a difficult decision, and he's going to say no to certain things, mother has to really let it go and decide ki, okay, fine, if this is the decision father has taken, I will abide by it, no questions asked. And this is something which probably fathers have to really discuss it out, because most of the time what happens is, in any difficult situation where mom is there, fathers are the ones who come overpower, and they're like, oh, I'm embarrassed, please just shut him off. And that is something which we really have to evolve as fathers, knowing that this probably is not the best thing in long terms. This is tip number 5. Going to tip number 6, how do we prepare our child for extraordinary situations? Okay, we all know we are going through an extraordinary situation where we are locked down since last 4 months. Children have not met their friends for 4 months. They have not gone outdoors, they have not played. Can you imagine what sort of a stress a child is going through? Okay, are we preparing our child enough? Are we talking to the child? Are we telling them that why this is happening? Probably mother is explaining the whole thing to a child, but we as father, child is completely surprised. Till 3 months back, father was the one who was continuously busy going morning. Probably he needed breakfast at 8, and he was rushing out to his office at 8:30. All of a sudden, father is also in home 24/7. You don't know, father is probably taken a room. This was a house. You think from a child's perspective, this was a home where father used to go out at morning 8 and come back at 8 in the evening. For 12 hours, a child has this home for himself. He knew where he's playing, he knew where he's studying, he knew where he's sleeping. And due to this entire lockdown situation, child is completely clueless. He doesn't know. He doesn't know that father one time is saying, ki, oh, don't make noise, I'm clocking into a web call. Don't disturb me. This is my room. Probably I have taken my room. Don't come into this room. Imagine the amount of stress which a child is currently going in this extraordinary times. It is very important that we prepare, we talk to our children, saying ki, this is the situation, and that's why I'm at home. Let's redefine certain rules. Probably for 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, I'm going to be in this room with my video call or with my logging in. I don't want you that time, but wherever I have time in between, I'll come out, I'll talk with you, we can play some game. We really need to condition our children well, and fathers play a very important role while we are conditioning our children. That takes me to the seventh point, is how do we communicate with our children so that our children listen to us. Okay, most of the fathers have this problem saying कि बच्चा मेरा सुनता ही नहीं, वो सिर्फ मम्मी का सुनता है, वो कुछ भी बोलो वो सुनता ही नहीं है. I want to throw a question back to the fathers who are listening to this. How many times have you listened to your child? How many times have been a time where you have sat with your child and discussed about his friends in school? How many times you have discussed about which are his favorite superheroes and why do they like those superheroes? How many times have you heard stories from your child? I'm especially talking to fathers probably, and I'm not stereotyping. There are a lot of fathers who do this, but I'm talking to most of the fathers who probably don't happen to listen to our children that often. Most of the times our discussion with children are tactical talks where they are more to do with instructions. Get up, get down, time to sleep, time for food, go have a bath, sit down, put on TV, don't do this, don't do that. And we are 90% of the times doing tactical talks with a child. And child comes to a situation where he's like, I don't want to listen to your tactical talks. If you can't listen to me, I'm not in a state to listen to you. So the seventh point, which I would like to say is, you need to listen to your child. You need to have communications. I'm not saying that you need to have 2 hours, 3 hours of communication. Even a half hour communication daily can help. Even a 20-minute intense dialogue communication with your child will be really, really helpful for you and your child to connect to a situation where a child feels that, oh, if 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 a father is listening to me, it's time that I listen to my father as well. It's a time where I can reason out things with my father. He exactly knows what emotions I'm going through. He exactly knows what am I doing. And that is something which is really amazing to see when a child really starts listening to you and he really starts having conversation with you. Try doing this. This is a magical wand. All what you need to do is invest 20 minutes to 30 minutes a day in listening to what child has to say without being judgmental or without giving any instructions. You don't have to say, oh my god, how are you thinking about this? Oh my god, this is a wrong thought. Oh my god, you cannot do this. Don't do this. Listen to a child. Period. If there is a superhero story, you tell him, okay, wow, there's a superhero story. Please give it out to me. I'll listen to the whole thing. All what a child requires is someone to listen to him. And trust me, he will start listening to you. That takes me to the tip number 8. The need of a child is the need for respect is way more than need for being correct. I'm again going to repeat it. Need for respect is way more than need for being correct. Okay, this is one of the most important things that we all as fathers need to understand, that we need to start respecting our children without uh, without actually making them feel that their opinion doesn't matter, without disrespecting them, without looking down on them. Lot of the time what happens is we are like, अरे इसको कुछ समझ भी नहीं आता, अरे ये कुछ भी मजाक में बात कर रहा है. And we subconsciously happen to a child where a child doesn't feel respected. He feels that his opinion is not listened to. Okay, so I feel the best solution what we can do is we should be always asking opinions from children, and we need to ask opinions which are chudra opinions. For example, you go to a mall and you want to go buy a pajama. Example, I'm not asking if you go to a mall and you want to buy a suit, ask opinion of a child which suit you need to buy. Definitely not. But if you're going and if you're buying pajamas and there's a red pajama and there's a yellow pajama, and it really doesn't matter, that is the time when you really need to ask your child, oh, what do you think, should I buy a red pajama or a yellow pajama? And if he says a yellow pajama, no matter whether you don't like it, it's okay, you need to buy that, because that just shows that his opinion is respected for. If he says that I need to do this, someone is listening to him. The need for respect is much more than the need for being right. Okay, if we are parents who are always going to tell him this is right for you, this is wrong for you, this is right, this is wrong, and we are not going to respect him and ever going to take his opinion, there are less chances that a child is actually going to listen to us. Okay, I think if we want to make amazing individuals, amazing future 2050 of India, we really need to start being respectful towards our children. We need to start taking their opinions seriously. Great, that is tip number 8. That takes me to tip number 9 is you can design your child's destiny. Okay, when I say that you can design your child's destiny, there are a lot of things which you can imbibe in the child. That starts with planning your finances in a way that you can make sure your future education is well done, which I'm sure most of the fathers might be knowing it. Along with that, we also need to make sure that are we preparing our child for 21st century skill sets. 21st century skill sets are the most important skill sets which we as fathers can teach our children. We need to know we need to know that the skill sets which were required in 2010 are probably skills not required in 2020 to survive, and probably skills which are going to be required in 2030 are not jobs even invented till now. We don't know, probably 10 years 15 years down the line, when our children come into mainstream occupation, business, or job, what exactly field they are going to get into. Are we preparing them for 21st century skill sets? Are we preparing them for future? Are we safeguarding their future? That is one point. Are we are we teaching our child exactly uh, how to use technology? It is very easy. Parents generally sort of use technology as a digital nanny, which is a new term which is evolved in this lockdown. Is a digital nanny where you just put a technology YouTube in front of a child, and child is busy for next 3 hours. Do we teach children how to effectively use technology so that his future, so that he can learn something by which he can get certain 21st century skill sets? I think as fathers, we play a very important role in teaching our children how to use technology, what to watch, what not to watch, how to evolve, how to make sure that if there is a series which a father finds is amazing, can you, father and a child, sit and enjoy that series once a week? There are multiple ways in which you can teach a child and probably use technology, and we cannot ignore technology in these coming times. So the best way as fathers is we need to find a best way that we can teach our child what is the minimum effective use of technology, which is not going to go overboard. We don't want to reach to a stage where we are using digital nanny to actually keep a child calm down, or keep him down. That takes me to the 10th point, and the best point, which I love the most, is celebrating the journey of fatherhood. I think there's no final solution, nor there is any final destination which we are looking at. But fatherhood is the entire journey, from right from when the child is born to probably till the time you are alive. The entire journey is a journey which has to be celebrated. This is a journey full of ups and downs, where you as a father has to change. You as a father has to evolve at every stage of life. Like I said in start, that you as a father has to change his fathering style for a toddler, for a teenager, for an adolescent, for an adult, for a married young man, and probably when your child is 50 years old. This entire process has to be a celebration process where you celebrate small successes, where you enjoy small things with your child. And this is something which is very unique to every parent, every father, which he will evolve in the process. You don't have to think fatherhood as being the most stressful thing in the earth. You just have to flow with the flow, enjoy each day as it comes with, and probably make sure that you're making the most of it. Thank you so much. These are the 10 tips for being an amazing father. I'm now going to take more questions. So if at all you have any questions, it generally takes a minute for this entire lag to happen. So if you have any questions, you can please post these questions so that I can answer these questions. If you are looking at from different platforms, please feel free, so that great. So one question which Rami Kumar is happening is, how do I reduce screen time? And this is typically a question which is asked across all platforms whenever we talk about. Uh, we can reduce screen time if we give them something else. If we are able to engage children in something better than screen time. Okay, so that takes me to the seventh point, is how to engage your child without actually being overstressed or without getting over involved. Okay, most of the times when parents are overstressed, because child gets bored immediately. Okay, if you don't put him in front of screen, he is behind ki mummy bore ho raha hai, main kya karu, papa bore ho raha hai, and then he will probably come sit in your lap wanting you to be involved. And then what happens is you put him on a tab or you put him in front of a screen, and then you cannot help. This happens especially because we are not able to give children a better substitute instead of a screen. And this exact journey of fatherhood is basically finding out whether we as fathers can get involved in this entire journey to find effective ways by which we can engage our child effectively. Like I gave examples, the best thing to have, I personally recommend, is to have a DIY kit at your home, where at all, if there is a situation where you can start a certain activity with your child, where you can initiate the whole process of a DIY activity and then leave it to a child, where you can tell him, you know what, why don't you do the whole thing and tell me what you learned. I'll come back in half an hour and see what we can do, what else we can do. Or if there are different things in kitchen, you can probably invest some time in finding out some DIYs online. You could see, if at all a child is on screen, you could sit with the child on screen and probably sit with him and say ki, wow, let us find a DIY what we can do it in kitchen, and let's see how we can help mama in kitchen. There are multiple ways by which you can engage a child in different activities without you getting over involved in it. It's just that we need to invest as fathers time to find out these small things which suits your child. If a child is very artistic and he loves painting, there's no point giving him DIY experiments in kitchen. You need to find some things, a different ways of drawing or techniques which you need to engage him in, by which he will be engaged in crafts and art activity. Okay, if your child is into reading, you probably need to give him a Kindle, or you need to give him some physical books which he can read it. So I think it is a process which you and your wife probably have to evolve, sit and talk about it. Great. So I'm going to go to the next question. The next question is from so Saha Dimple has a question. I have a 6-year old. I have a 6-year old. My partner has always been over involved parent. Disciplining has been area, though with lockdown and work from home, he spends more time with our child, finding it difficult to discipline him. What can we do to help him to discipline him? So it is very important. How do you define discipline? And I think uh, just by being a helicopter parent, disciplining doesn't really work that way. A child learns not from what we speak, but child learns much more from the way we act, the way we behave. Child is continuously learning the way parents are conducting. If a child is seeing that parents are acting disciplined, probably not now, few years down the lane, child is going to get those disciplines in him. I don't think we need to really get overstressed with, oh ये सुनता ही नहीं है, टीवी के सामने ही खाता है, and he's not sitting properly and he's not doing these things properly. I don't think we all need to be overstressed at this time. We just need to let the child be in this state. Child is learning much more by looking at us than listening to us. Okay, I'm repeating again because this is the most important point. Child sees parents and learns from them. Child never listens to what you're talking. He is always listening to what you're behaving, how the whole entire house is behaving. And I think child learns much more from that. And if your home is disciplined home, child is definitely going to learn and is going to absorb that. So you don't need to worry about that. Then the next question is from Charu. Okay, her child is very aggressive and sensitive too. He shouts a lot when he's angry or happy. Don't know how to control him. In this case, Charu, if these are extreme emotions, I think uh, you need to schedule an appointment with an expert, with a specialist, and probably get tips in terms of extreme emotions. I think he will need much more help, external help, than both of you as parents can do. So in this situation where emotions are extreme and they are something which are not manageable, and when you know that a child is just not throwing a tantrum, but actually he cannot control his emotions. There are extreme emotions which are not in his control. I think at that time you really need to meet a therapist, which can then further guide you on how to go about the whole thing. Uh, Next question is, I think Neha is asking me, my husband doesn't take care of the baby. What should I do? I think Neha, you need to show him this video. These are the quick 10 tips which I would probably recommend to any father to probably watch and evolve with. It is something which probably I giving a suggestion is not going to help, which is something a father has to be willing to listen to, or probably you as a couple would have to evolve, saying ki this entire parenthood is not only a motherhood journey. It also has a very important father's role to be played, and an active father's role is very very important in bringing up a happy successful child. Okay, so I think the entire importance of being a happy child, uh, father's roles play a very very important role. A child is uh, looking at mother and father both, and he's learning from both of these situations, both of these extremes. If father is completely non-involved, you imagine what sort of an impression a child is going to have when he grows up, and probably when he's going to have his own children, and probably he will feel that this is the way to upbring a child, and probably this is the point where we need to sit together and discuss ki, is this what we want our child to become as a father. And probably if you can talk it out with your husband, it's the best way to probably find the best techniques how he can be involved. Probably you need to counsel your partner, saying ki, why don't you get involved as a father? Do you think there's too much time involved, there's too much over parenting? What exactly is the issue, and which are these points, 10 tips which I've shared, can help you to evolve, where you can involved and a child also feel connected to you. So I think that's the answer. uh, then the next question is with Diksha Shah. It was wonderful session. My 3-year-old child is very playful. How can we incorporate discipline in my child? Me and my husbands both are working. It really getting difficult for both of us. Can you help, please? Absolutely, Diksha, there are multiple ways you can engage your child. In fact, we did a survey and found out that there are a lot of challenging situations which are happening where both the parents are working. And both are working from home, and they really don't know how to engage their child. We did a survey, and we have come up with 50 different problems which parents are facing, and they don't know what are the quick fix solutions for this. Though there is not one fit solution for all, we came up with 50 different questions, challenges which parents are facing, and we have now invited a panel of 45 people to come and talk on an online parenting summit which is starting next week. So any specific problem which is going to come out of a specific parenting challenge, where my child is not listening to me, what should I do? Or for example, my child has a problem of bedwetting, how can I manage in these times? In these times when parents are doubling up their role as mothers, fathers, and at the same time we also have to be a teacher to our child. We really need to know what sort of small help tips we can get, and that's exactly why we have come up with an initiative where we want 40-45 experts to come and address these 50 specific problem points which are being faced at home, faced at home with mothers, fathers, everyone together. So I will not be able to give you a list of things which you can do by which your child uh, uh, can be probably handled well. You will have to come find out which are the best techniques which you can learn and probably implement to your child. That's the best thing which you can probably get. Great. So that gets me to the end of the session. Are there any more questions? I'm just checking if there are any more questions which are yet to be answered. Great. Great. I think the rest of the few questions which has been asked by Aditi and Siddiqui is already been answered. Answered. Great. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure coming on First Cry Italy page and talking to you. Please do write in your comments. Please do like First Cry Italy page. It has been a pleasure, and let's enjoy this journey of fatherhood. Thank you so much.